Grain quality management is the process of ensuring that the harvested corn remains to be of good quality until the next planting season, or until it reaches the consumers. Managing the grain quality of corn ensures that you will be able to protect your corn from spoilage, insects, aflatoxin, bacteria, and physical damage. The quality of the seeds you will plant for next season will be assured. Or if the corn is to be milled as food, as in the case of white corn, or feeds for animals, as in the case of yellow corn, you will be able to store them longer to wait for better market prices. Either way, you are assured of higher income. This video will discuss specific steps to help ensure the grain quality of corn that will be used as feeds or as seeds. Grain quality management of corn involves a series of activities that include harvesting, pre-drying in preparation for shelling, shelling, grain drying, and ends with storage. If the corn is to be used commercially as feeds or as seeds for next season, you should harvest when the plants are fully matured. This is usually 110 days from planting. By then, leaves would have turned from green to brown. Notice the black layer that forms at the base of the kernel. This is the start of grain maturation. You should harvest only when the grains are fully matured. Harvest the ears from the field. Immediately dry the harvest for 2 to 3 days. Clean the floor area for drying. Turn the ears from time to time to dry them evenly. After initial drying of the harvest, moisture content should be about 18 to 21%. This will prevent damage during shelling. By manual shelling, you will be able to tell if the corn has the right amount of moisture. Kernels with high moisture content require more energy before being detached from the cob, resulting to damages. If the grains being shelled give away easily, that means they have about the right amount of moisture content for shelling. Remember to be very careful in shelling the corn. You must avoid damaging the grains. Damaged grains are susceptible to attack by insects and fungi that produce toxins like aflatoxin. The use of mechanical shellers makes the job easy, with less effort, and is less expensive. Different types of shellers have been developed, from the simplest manually operated to the most complicated combine harvesters. Proper moisture before shelling greatly affects grain quality. After shelling, dry the grains again. Sun drying may be done for 2 to 3 days or more, depending on the intensity of sunlight. In the absence of sunlight, grain drying is done with the use of mechanical dryer. Check the moisture content of the grains using a moisture tester. Be sure the moisture content of the grain is 12% before storing. But even without a moisture tester, you will be able to tell if your corn has 12% or less. Corn grains, when properly dried, 12% moisture content, are slippery when scooped with bare hands. If the grains sound like coins rubbing against each other, then the moisture content is about 12% or less. This amount of moisture will help prevent the growth of molds that produce aflatoxin and other mycotoxins. Corn grains for feeds may be stored from 2 months to 8 months to wait for better market prices. But these need to be protected from major corn pests like the corn weevil. To protect the grains for feeds or seeds from corn weevil and other pests before storing, spray the grains with a recommended solution. This is how you make the solution. Mix 960 milliliters of water with 40 milliliters of pyrimidine methyl and 2 milliliters of permethrin. This solution is good for 1 ton of grains and is very affordable. Wait for the grains to cool down in the afternoon before spraying the solution. Air dry the grains before storing in the sacks. Pack the grains in sacks and store in a clean, dry place. Organize the sacks systematically for ventilation and easy inspection for the presence of insect pests and molds. Grains treated with a recommended solution can be stored for 8 months. This is the best way to protect and keep the grains for feeds while waiting for better prices. For small amounts of corn which will be used as seeds, you may store the corn ears for 3 months using the halai-hai method. In this method, the unhusked ears of corn are strung together by a wire or rope. Corn husks will protect the ears from damages caused by insects. Using appropriate technologies to protect the corn harvest helps ensure the quality of the grains. And good quality grains ultimately mean better income for you and your family.